events here in Arlington, and we have some heavy hitters competing in the Marines obstacle course. Amir Abdullah, we know what kind of an athlete he is. Great athlete in Nebraska, the all-time leader in all-purpose yards with the Cornhuskers, and that's saying something. Vic Beasley, just a terror on the edge for Clemson. One of the great defenses in the country this year, statistically or any way you want to look at it. And Dante Fowler Jr. Let's take a look at the rules here. The gauntlet carry, and there are penalties as well if you fumble the football. And we saw that gauntlet is not easy. The agility shoot and the dummy weave ropes course, again, a 1 second penalty, sled push, and they will finish with hurdles and the 40-yard dash. Now, Joey Galloway wanted to test this out, but he's wearing a suit today. So he's going to take a back seat to U.S. Marine Corps Staff Sergeant Chase Sims, who served 3 tours of duty in Iraq. And if anybody can navigate a Marine obstacle course, it's a United States Marine. Let's take a look at how Staff Sergeant Sims goes about it. And his list of decorations, by the way, gentlemen, is longer than we have time to mention.
He ran through that gauntlet like it was nothing.
Like it wasn't a gauntlet.
Like, I'm telling you, that we should check those. Those looked a lot harder when the players were running through it, man. This guy's an athlete, you can tell.
Check those. Check the gauntlet to see if it got hurt.
Yeah.
In the combat boots, that lets you know that yeah, what kind of terrain he's been on.
The one thing I can guarantee you is he could do this obstacle course about 40 times and not be winded as we've seen some of the guys do. And he gets a congratulatory handshake from the players as well at the conclusion. Let's take another look at Staff Sergeant Sims showing us how it's done. From a U.S. Marine.
Tucked the ball away nicely. Points of pressure, had to put it there, taking care of it.
I like it, and it was a nice, smooth pace the whole time.
Right, he's a little deliberate.
It was a nice, smooth pace. He knew his point of attack. He knew what he was supposed to be doing. I mean, that was impressive.
Too, the precision of a Marine, he wasn't going to get a penalty.
No.
You are not going to see
absolutely not
him record a penalty in this particular act. So his fellow Marines congratulating him as well. Take a look at the score. As we said, 0 penalties, a 36.49. Now it's time for the players. And Amir Abdullah, boy, what kind of a career and season has he had? He's got the sleeves rolled up. He's ready to go. And recently crowned the Senior Bowl MVP just the other day.
It was surreal, really. You know, I'm originally from Birmingham, Alabama, so coming back to play on Alabama soil for the first time since high school was a remarkable feeling. You know, being back, and especially to get the MVP was no better way to capture, you know, a good moment for me and how to close off my college career. So.
Joey, 5'8", about 200 pounds, but what makes him so special?
Well, you see the change of ability, you see the speed, but that's the part right there I think separates Amir Abdullah, is his ability to run through contact. You know, the mark of a really good running back is, you know, you have to run the ball as hard on your 5th carry, and then later in the game on your 25th carry, still running it hard. And that's what kind of running back he was. Hits the hole with speed, agility, but then when the hits come, he has the ability to run through the power of the defensive back trying to take him down.
And you talk about eye backs in the history of Nebraska football, and you see here Mike Rozier, Heisman Trophy winner, Amon Green there as well, great backs and putting up great numbers. And Amir Abdullah doesn't have to take a back seat, Joey, as you mentioned, to any of those backs. Abdullah got through the gauntlet pretty well himself.
The gauntlet's still hurting from the guy that just ran. Staff Sergeant Chase Sims. But he has incredibly quick feet. He's extremely explosive. He's a big play threat, and that's not a quality that can be taught. It has to be something that's inside you. He's a guy that has put the team on his back on several different occasions, and a guy that's going to have an incredibly long career because of how versatile he is and how athletic he is.
Does he remind you a little bit of, and I know we continue with the exercise of looking at current NFL players, but I don't know, maybe a Giovanni Bernard, a guy who's a little shorter in stature but powerfully built. And Bernard, I think, has proved in his brief NFL career to this point that he's not just a 3rd down back. He's a guy who can carry the ball, even though Jeremy Hill there at Cincinnati gives him a complete different look.
I agree with you. When you start talking about NFL running backs, you kind of want to see these young kids get in and play some games. Bernard is that kind of guy you can give the ball to, 20, 25 times a game, and he can stand up to that. Amir Abdullah, because of his speed, he may be a 3rd down back, even though he has the ability and the power to run through a lot of tackles. But you want to keep that kind of guy fresh, maybe put the ball in his hands 10, maybe 15 times a game, maybe on the edges, and let him be a big play, make guys miss out in space kind of running back.
30.71. Amir Abdullah's score. Now, this is an interesting competition because guys from different positions. We had a running back in Amir Abdullah. Now Vic Beasley from Clemson, the rush edge. And, boy, Mac, was a terror to quarterbacks in the ACC.
And he looks the part. He is as impressive looking a football player as you see. Incredibly tenacious, high motor, elite pass rushing skills. I was a little concerned about his size. Obviously at 235, not the same type of size that you usually see from some of the defensive ends in the NFL, but he looks bigger, he plays bigger than that. So I would expect him to be very well sought after as the NFL draft comes around.
That is the question mark. Where will he line up? Will he put his hand in the dirt? If he's got to gain some weight, obviously, if he's going to be in that position. Will he make the transition to outside linebacker? Could he be a rush edge, sort of in the Von Miller type of a mold?
Absolutely. When you talk about guys that are shorter in stature to play defensive end, third down the passing. It's a passing league now. When you get teams in third and long, third and medium, that's when you get a Vic Beasley, put his hand on the ground and say, just go after the quarterback. Don't have to be concerned so much with the run game, but just outrun these offensive tackles who are making a lot of money to block guys like Vic Beasley.
The specialization as Beasley is laboring somewhat, but every one of these competitors is making sure that they finish in front of their competition.
And let's make sure they know that there's no bonus points for most creative jump over the hurdles here, but you can see, I mean, he has the athleticism and he has the versatility. Like you said, I think he could be a 3-4 outside backer. I think he could be a 4-3 rush end in a situational technique, but I think he can do just about anything you want. And like you guys said, rushing the passer has been put on such a premium. This guy is going to have a home in the NFL for quite some time.
The athleticism, as you said, he looks the part there, Mac, and the full flip to finish the competition. Let's see what his score is. 30.71, that's what Ameer put up. 33-32, so he's not going to take the Nebraska running back from the top of the heap. Our next competitor out of the University of Florida, Dante Fowler Jr. Talked with us earlier about his game and how he thinks he plays it.
Havoc. I like to wreak havoc. I feel like I'm a Tasmanian devil, you know? I'm all over the place. I was trained to play fast, you know, so that's all. I just like to go fast on a consistent basis and, you know, just, you know, give the offense problems, you know what I mean? Scare the quarterback. That's my job, right?
The Tasmanian devil, and he's going to be the heaviest of our competitors here in this obstacle course, Joey.
In my time in the NFL, what changed the most from the beginning to end was the defensive ends became more athletic, they became faster guys, and they could go from the middle of the field to the sideline as quickly as anybody, and they changed the game in the way it's played. Guys like Fowler, at 260 pounds, have the ability to play the run, play the pass, and then also change directions and run someone down to the sideline, whether it's a receiver, whether it's a running back, or whether it's some of these faster quarterbacks that you're seeing nowadays. Defensive ends has changed the way the game is played in the NFL.
He's running.
Tasmanian devil often going on his attacking this obstacle
he's
course.
moving. that is scary. If you're some of these offensive tackles that are here today, you have your eyes on guys like Fowler and Beasley thinking, this is the guy I'm going to have to be matched up with on some of these third downs. These are the guys that I'm going to have to block to protect my quarterbacks.
Yeah, he's not messing around.
That's 277 pounds. I mean, that's not a little man. I mean, this is a guy, if he wanted to, he could move inside the 3 technique on third downs. They can move him up, and you saw him at times being used by Will Muschamp and DJ Durkin at Florida. They would actually stand him up right over the center and rush the passer. It's this type of motor and explosiveness that you want to see, though, from a defensive end. When you talk to offensive tackles, their least favorite characteristic when describing the person they're playing against is that high motor. Dante Fowler has always had it, always will have it. And, man, he showed it right there with an impressive time and impressive showing.
And just when I said he wasn't messing around, he hammed it up for the camera to say I could even go faster if I wanted to at this point in time. And he is our winner. Kaylee Hartung is standing by with the Gator.
Well, man, for all the talk of having fun today, Dante, how do you describe the competitive spirit you entered that event with?
I don't know. Look at him. There it is right there, just out here having fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what it is.
Just having fun. We out here with the best of the best and just competing and just out here having fun.
Where do you think you were able to pick up the most ground in that event?
Really on the bat, you know. I had the ball, you know, I felt like I was a running back, so, you know, I had my little moments. So I just want to have fun with it.
You didn't even get style points for the finish there. Amir, what do you think?
I stubbed my toe on the blocking, so it kind of slowed me down.
Running back, though.
I told him his confidence was low, so I gave him this win. He needed it for his confidence. Heck of a job, young
Got
man.
MVP. He had to give me some, right?
Guys helping guys here. It's a team sport, right?
Yeah, we're just out here having fun, you know, with the guys. You know, I'm just blessed to be out here.
Waiting for the dance moves to celebrate.
You just got to get some music. That's how we win.
That's on you guys. Where's the music?